Hey, I'm AJ's dad and I live in Northern California and I love to go on adventures. If you've ever been interested in going on the Redwood Creek Trail, dispersed camping, I'm about to go do that. So if you want to learn some more, come follow me. First thing that you'll see when you arrive at the trailhead is this parking lot and this bridge. The parking lot is an overnight parking lot. I don't think they are visited by bears, but this is bear country, so police your stuff accordingly. As you can see, there is a bathroom and a place where you can drop your trash and recycles. Here we go. Here's our parking lot. We're getting ready to head out to the trail. It's a beautiful day. It is April 18th, 2026, and it's about 60 degrees out. Redwood Creek is about a 6-hour drive north of San Francisco, just past the town of Oric. You will need to register for a free permit online with the Park Service, just for them to let them know that you're going to be here in case they need to get a hold of you. About 1.5 miles in, there is a river crossing to the other side of the river, Redwood Creek, and they have a bridge that they put in seasonally, but it's currently removed. So we'll have to cross the river. Not sure how deep it'll be. So that will be an adventure. I've noticed some various scat along the trail. This one's pretty fresh. I don't know what it is. It's not bear. Is that coyote? I don't know. A little too big for fox. I don't know, it's fresh though. Look at how lush this is. The moss covering these old trees. Gorgeous. And of course, this little guy sunning himself on the trail.
Is it the snake?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's still there?
Is he still there?
Still there, sunning himself. The trail is studded with some gigantic, beautiful old growth trees. And it's nice and shady most of the way, so keeps you nice and cool. It's perfect weather. So as I mentioned before, this is a dispersed camping trail. So what that means is you got to bring in your own water. There's no bathrooms. There's, et cetera, et cetera. So I brought 2 liters of water. That should be enough for one night for cooking and drinking. If not, I brought a filter, water filter. One of the good pieces of advice that was given to me was don't filter water directly out of Redwood Creek. Filter it out of a tributary that feeds to Redwood Creek. There's probably less critters and stuff and contaminants in the water. So what I'll probably do is I'll camp close to one of those tributaries in case I need to get more water. So the path is usually pretty well maintained up until now. It's getting a little bit crowded. If they don't get in here pretty soon, it'll be completely overgrown and hard to see the trail as it is. I can barely see it now. It's gorgeous though. Look at this. Holy smokes. Look at this gorgeous. More scat. This is probably the 3rd or 4th one I've seen. Now I'm wondering, mountain lion? I don't know. All right. This looks like the crossing. Nice little bench here. enjoy the view. Sharing the forest with some furry and some not so furry friends. Caught another feller sunning himself, catching some rays. Oh, here's the river crossing. I don't know. I'll have to check and see how deep it is. So I made it across the river. That was no joke. Doesn't look like much, but it was pushing. Whew. It was all the way up to the middle of my thighs. I had to grab a couple of sticks to brace myself, but I did it. Got across. I gotta do the same thing tomorrow. All right. Not gonna lie, a little bit scared there. It was good, talking my way through it. It was cold too, but very secondary to the situation. Now I'm really excited about pushing down this river and seeing what else is there. I don't think there's gonna be anybody else here. Have to keep an eye out for bears. I debated taking trekking poles, and I guess I should have, but at least I was able to make do with some branches that I found. Oh, I see some people down the river. Let's see what they have to say. Oh my God, am I gonna have to cross the river again? Oh shit. Maybe my son AJ can figure out what that's from. I had to backtrack a bit of a ways. Couldn't find this. It was pretty well hidden behind these willow trees. Not obvious. I ran into some fellow hikers who gave me some pointers where this was. Here we go. I'm so happy I brought these water shoes. Can't imagine trying to cross the creek in bare feet. That would have really sucked. Saved my life. So we're crossing MacArthur Creek, and we're gonna go upstream, but south, down to Elam Creek. Anything south of MacArthur Creek, you can camp. So here we go. So I brought my hiking boots, and initially I wore those, but so far the whole thing can be hiked in Keens or the like. If you're into that, just toe protection is probably important. But in terms of ankle protection, nothing yet. I'm gonna keep these Keens on because I might have to cross the water again. But yeah, I'm just gonna wear them until they dry out too. So there's a couple of spots now where the trail is washed out, and I've had to scramble up this and then over some debris to get back on the trail. So far it's not so bad. So I haven't seen any footprints that look like they're more than a couple of days old. Newer than a couple of days old, that is. So I'd be surprised if I see anybody, but let's see if my trail skills are correct. All right, we just reached the intersection of the Redwood Creek Trail and the Elam Camp Horse Trail. We're gonna go that way to the gravel bar. This is Elam Creek, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. If I run out of water, this is where I'll be getting my water from. So hopefully from here we can find a spot down by the riverbank. So I've been walking for a little ways, trying to find an opening to the creek bed area. And it's right over there, but there are no obvious entrances to the gravel bar. So I'm keeping on walking until I find some obvious natural opening. That's definitely bigger. I think that's a cat. Looks pretty fresh too. All right, so at exactly 4 miles in, there's this little trail. It scrambles through this little mud flat here. And I think we're in luck. Oh my God. I didn't think I'd get it. I thought I'd have to go all the way back. Look how gorgeous this is. Oh my God. This is incredible. This is so incredible. And I'm the only one here. All right, got my tent set up. Of course, right after I said I had the whole place to myself, there were 2 hikers sitting 30 feet away, enjoying the creek. I'm gonna do that too. Froggies! Cute froggies. So cute. The sound is so calming. All right, folks, I'm taking bets on my fire pit. Will it light? Stay tuned. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. First try. Gonna have a nice warm fire tonight. All right, tonight we are having Peak Refuel chicken coconut curry. I'm very excited to try it. All right, that was a successful hike out here. Just had dinner, chilling by the fire. I'm gonna hang out for a couple more minutes and probably hit the sack. The sky looks a little iffy. I don't think it's gonna rain, but I'm gonna put the rain cover on just in case. I was hoping it would be a little more clear and I could watch the stars tonight, but I don't know. I'd rather be safe than sorry. So see you in the morning. Good morning. I'm up and this is what it looks like. It's gorgeous. Lots of stars last night. Just got my coffee. Yeah, warming up. Waiting for the dew to dry off the tent and we'll get cracking. All right, breakfast this morning is Vietnamese coffee and oatmeal with nuts and berries. First rays of light poking through the trees. There are some great skipping rocks here. Lots of frogs. Oh, and by the way, you can collect up to 50 pounds of downed wood for your fire. Sun's peeking over the edge, starting to finally touch the trees. All right, well, it's time to say goodbye to this spot. I left a nice fire ring for the next person that comes. I was hoping to wait for the sun to come over, but looks like a little bit of clouds came in. But it's gonna be a perfect day for a hike, so let's do it. This is a tree fall over the trail, just to give you an idea of the scale of this. It is, there's the tree that's broken, but there's the redwood above it. It must be 200 feet tall. There's a couple of places here where you have to kind of scramble over some stuff over the trail, so just so you know. Look at that giant pile of snag. All right, made it here to the riverbank. Changing into my Keens. We're gonna cross that in a minute. I wish I could film it while I was doing it, but I gotta keep my hands free. See you on the other side. All right, I made it across. It was actually a lot easier this time around. I don't know if the water levels were a little lower this time or I picked a better path. One thing I think is that I was going downstream as I was crossing over, whereas before I was moving upstream. I think that had a lot to do with it. I left these sticks here in case someone else wants to use them crossing over, but I made it. Whee! Look at the beautiful paint job on this guy. Don't worry, buddy, I'm not gonna hurt you. All right, and we're back. That was about an hour and 40 minutes. A little faster than before. On the way in there, I dallied quite a bit, taking pictures and stuff. On the way out, I dallied a little bit, but we made it. All right, so in the end, I got about 3.75 miles. I'm here. That's where I crossed the river. There's Elam Creek, and then I went about a mile past that. So somewhere maybe around the R on Redwood Creek, something along those lines. It was awesome. So if you're wondering about how I did water-wise, I've got about a little bit more than half a liter left from the 2 liters that I brought. So I made coffee, I made oatmeal this morning, and I made dehydrated meal last night. So here it is. I'm probably a little dehydrated. I probably should have drank more, but this is just a good indicator of what you can get away with without having to, you know, bring a filter. If you ever find your way up here in the north, there's the town of Trinidad, and in the town of Trinidad is a little tiny shop called Katie's Smokehouse, and I highly, highly recommend the smoked salmon.